Yes, everybody, welcome back to the Irish Hotspur. Jack here, and in this video, I'm going to be giving my reactions to our first signing of the January winter window, Antonin Kinsky from the Czech League, from Slavia Prague, however you want to pronounce it. But he is going to be our first signing this January window, a goalkeeper as well, one that I was not expecting. Wasn't really too sure whether Spurs were going to be signing a goalkeeper this winter window. I thought they were going to try to get the most out of the Forster squeeze as they could, and it seemed like they were trying to get away with that. But it looks like they panicked, at least from what I can tell. Maybe they panicked a little bit here and they brought in a very young and very talented goalkeeper here in Antonin Kinsky. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he's all about. But there are also some question marks about, whether he's going to be here for, the here and now. Is this blocking up, potential opportunities for Luca Gunter, Josh Keeley? Lots of different question marks about this. But he also looks to be a very, very good goalkeeper. So we'll see what he's all about. We'll see how the different people across this Twitter platform are reacting to it. We'll take a look at some stats, take a look at as well as just some different inside scoops and takes, and just keep looking at that beautiful face there of that new goalkeeper that we brought in. But everybody, if you can, smash that like button, please, for me. Get into the comments. Let me know what you think of this signing. Without further ado, let's welcome Antonin Kinsky to Tottenham Hotspur. Lily White Rose saying he has agreed a deal that will run until June 2031, and he will wear the number 31 shirt. I don't remember who the last number 31 was for Tottenham Hotspur, but a 2031 contract is a long one, right? And you would say that maybe that shows that, again, Spurs have confidence that this guy will come good in the long run. It's about what, 5 to 6 year deal, if I'm thinking about this correctly. And it just shows that Spurs definitely have some sort of confidence in the guy, some sort of, belief that he will come good in the end. But yeah, huge, huge contract. Take on Tottenham saying, I've watched Slavia Prague quite a lot this season. Wife is Czech. It's an effing class club, by the way. And I think Anthony Kinsky is a very good goalkeeper responsible for their excellent league form, completely jaded by results, leave you out and so I'm going to celebrate a little win. It is fun when you watch, let's say, a lesser watched league or a lesser watched club. I'm a huge kind of Shakhtar Donetsk nerd every now and again. I try to catch as many of their games in the Europa League or Champions League when I can. And when you end up being linked with a player like that, or end up actually signing a player from various clubs or leagues like maybe a Slavia Prague, it is quite fun. And it's good to have those inside takes. And he seems to think that he's very, very worth the hype. Data MB pointing out some stats here. They're saying that Kinski is in the top 10 percentile for passes completed, top 15th percentile for prevented goals, top 15th percentile for long pass percentage, and then the top 20th percentile for short pass percentage. And then when it looks at the I think the Czech league here, he's been the first in clean sheets, first in passes of any goalkeeper, second in save percentage, second in short passes, and then second in accurate short passes. I haven't watched much of Kinski. He's only been at Slavia Prague for like half a season, really. But if he is leading in a lot of these stats when it comes to playing out from the back, especially in both the Europa League, but also just in his own respective Czech league, I think those are really good signs that they have done the right type of research. They're bringing in a guy that will suit the system, someone that will be able to play out from the back confidently. But then, from what we can tell from highlight reels, as well as some of the other tweets that we'll be going through with you, is a good kind of sort of long ball on him. He looks like he knows how to be able to hit it out from his feet or hit it out from his hands, kind of a drop kick from the goalkeeper. And he does it really well, a bit similar to maybe what David Rea kind of does at Arsenal, that really good sort of kind of side, drop kick, volley out of the hands. And I forget what really the term is for that, but does very well and seems to also play really well just building out from the back. Daniel Levy was in Prague this week to negotiate a deal for Antonin Kinsky. Well, not sure if I would want to spend a week in Prague with Daniel Levy, but a city I've always wanted to go to. It's supposed to be lovely, lovely city, and especially if you're a bit of a beer enthusiast like myself, it's supposed to be a lovely time. But I bet Daniel Levy was more there for the business. Connor saying, Anthony Kinsky, welcome to hell. Yes, the hell that is occasionally Tottenham Hotspur Basket Case Club at the moment, but maybe things will start turning around in 2025. Mitch Fretton saying, have just watched a few clips of Anthony Kinsky. He's absolutely superb with the ball at his feet. Excellent. Exactly what Ange wants from his goalkeepers, 100%. And that's what we need to be looking for, is someone that pretty much is just like Vicario, good sweeper keeper, can play out from the back, athletic, can make crack saves on a regular basis. But Kinsky, hopefully he can fill that mold and maybe even be better than Vicario. You never know. Fabrizio Romano saying Tottenham completed all the documents for their first 2025 signing. Antonin Kinsky, 2003 born goalkeeper, will join from Slavia Prague for a fee in excess of £10 million. Contract now also completed. More players are being targeted by Spurs for upcoming days and weeks. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting a very busy window for Spurs. It's just kind of how it's been. The summer window was a bit of a letdown. It's kind of expecting the winter window to be a bit of a letdown, but then also the summer fall window after this would maybe be the one where they would try to maybe catch up for mistakes that they made or areas that they ignored. It's just classic with Spurs to sort of delay kind of the signings of areas that they've really been needing to address. And I felt like that was just going to be the case this season. But they have gone and signed a new goalkeeper, and we'll talk about a little bit later what that means for some of the very talented younger goalkeepers that we may have. But this is to a degree a pretty panicked here and now signing by Spurs. So it does show that maybe they have regretted, I guess, ignoring that situation around the backup goalkeeper this year. And even the fact that Brandon Austin played okay in the last game, and yet they're so quick to still bring in this guy shows that maybe they had, regretted or at least are starting to feel like, they should have addressed this sooner. Lily White Rose saying Antonin Kinsky, UEFA's rules now state that he can play in the Europa League this season for Spurs if they make the knockout stages, despite having already turned out repeatedly in that competition for Slavia Prague during this campaign. Someone, though, would have to be taken out of the squad due to their numbers already being registered. So it means Fraser Forster would have to be kicked out. Then another English homegrown player would have to replace him. We'd have to kick out a non homegrown player from that European squad list, which maybe could happen. I'm not sure which players are expendable from that list, but there's two routes there. I'm not sure though if they would try to take Brandon Austin out, considering he basically occupies that homegrown club train spot, which is very valuable when it comes to squad registration in the Europa League. Sig saying the signing of Anthony Kinsky just proves the ITKs know actually F all. They hardly get anything right, do they? I have felt that way the past summer, and then I am starting to feel that way again, or at least being reminded that I had felt that way over the summer with this winter window, because we were being linked with what, Sam Johnston, maybe another goalkeeper if I'm remembering correctly, but there was no inkling or any sort of juice at all to suggest that we were going after this Czech goalkeeper. And the fact that even Daniel Levy, right, is flying to Prague and we had no idea about what that meant, or anybody even had any idea that he might have been in Prague, it just shows that I think they have really, tightened up a lot of the leaks in and around the club and in and around the dressing room, perhaps. So from what we can tell, I think the ITKs, or at least from what I can tell, the ITKs, I don't know, they've been a little bit off it in the last summer. It was very frustrating. But then also going into this winter window, looks like yet again they've missed another one because they had no inkling of this one happening. Anthony Kinsky saying, I spoke with the coach and I really got the feeling that moving to Tottenham was going to be the right choice. Well, he got the approval from Ange. Ange had the phone call with him, and he's also feeling like this is the right move for him. We're getting that validation from Kinsky, which is great to see. Lily White Rose saying goalkeeper planning ahead next season. We are probably looking at Vicario as the number one. Kinsky is the number two. Brandon Austin kept around as the third homegrown club trained goalkeeper. Josh Keeley, 21 years of age, will probably be sent out on loan in the championship. And then Luca Gunter will be sent out on his very first loan. Quickly on these three, very talented goalkeepers. One of them, if not both of them, will likely have to find a new club at some point. It is going to be a battle between them for being the eventual successor to Guglielmo Vicario, because Vicario, for a goalkeeper, he isn't that old or anything. He's still got probably plenty of years left in him, or at least what, 3 to 4 at a pretty decent level, I would think, especially for a guy who is as athletic as he is. If he keeps his body, in good health and everything, he should be able to go on for a while. And then Kinski is the same age as Keeley. So it's just going to be a battle between those two, which one will end up impressing more. Keeley looks great in the championship, but he doesn't have necessarily the European experience that Kinski does. And then Luca Gunter is supposed to be one of the more talented goalkeepers of his age group, especially in the England setup. So it's a huge surprise that we have gone for someone so young that could technically block the pathway of a Keeley or a Gunter, who are supposed to be one of the more talented, better goalkeepers in and around their age group. And it is a big surprise for me that we've done that. But we'll see how it ends up playing out. At the end of the day, more competition is good competition, but I wonder what sort of message this does send to Keeley and Gunter. Adam Hurry saying Anthony Kinsky is a classical footballer name, should have a nickname like the Octopus of Prague, and an like an apocryphal story, like a apocalyptic story about saving a penalty against Tatran Pressov in dense 1950s smog, and then immediately scoring himself by booting it out of his hands to the other end. Anthony Kinsky is a very great name. And like I said, maybe on a different stream or something, it's actually a bit similar to my last name. So if I were a Czech goalkeeper in another life. I wonder if that's would have been my name, maybe Jack Kinski of some kind, Jakob Kinski. Matt Hayes pointing out just how talented and how young this core group of players is at Spurs. You have Mikey Moore, Vuskovic, we haven't even got to see yet, Bergvall, Archie Gray, Young Min Hyuk, Lancashire, Devine, Phillips, Wilson Odebear, and Kinski. And he's probably leaving out a few more in there. So many players that we have to pick from that are very, very talented guys. We'll see if which ones work out, right? Not all of them will, but it is good to have a little bit of a different look to the Tottenham Hotspur squad. And I felt like, in seasons gone by, especially under Jose, Conte, Nuno, maybe towards the tail end of Poch, it did not feel like we had this sort of, vibrant youth, coming through that have a lot of, potential and have a really high ceiling. So we'll see how it pays off for us. Slavia Prague giving their goodbyes to Kinsky, saying he's heading to Tottenham Hotspur. We thank Tonda, probably his nickname, for all the wonderful memories. Wish him the best of luck, good health, and we are happy that the Slavia family in the Premier League has grown by another member. At Spurs, he will follow in the footsteps of Radek Cherny, who coached him at Slavia Prague. Oh, that's nice. Radek Cherny. I think there's a guy at like Wolfsburg or a guy at like Rangers. Maybe he played for Wolfsburg previously. He's named Cherny. It sounds like a very famous Czech name, maybe for good players. But they have a good manager, and this Slavia Prague team in the past couple of years has been pretty good. Like I've seen them in the latter stages of not really late stages, but they've been in the knockout rounds of European competitions. I think especially the Europa League, but probably also the Conference League if I've seen them there before. But I feel like in recent years under their new manager, he's like big sort of burly guy, sort of tracksuit manager, wears like a big white cap, baseball cap kind of thing. I don't know his name, but he wears a big puffy coat, big beard, white cap, very like Eastern European looking manager. I really like his vibe. I really like his the sort of the sort of vibe that he gives off. But he's from what I can tell in the past few years that he's been their manager, he's actually turned out a really good Slavia Prague team that has been challenging decently in the European competition. So that could mean then that he's Kinsky has to be a good goalkeeper if that sort of manager decides to trust him. Johan Lang identified Kinsky as a target via data algorithms. Spurs then sent scouts to watch him in the Europa League, and he impressed them further. Johan Lang is under a lot of pressure right now, especially I know Dave has been calling him out over his work over the past summer. A lot of people are starting to feel like he's maybe not good enough at pushing for the here and now signings or the guys that are, let's say, of a real experience and real quality. He seems to lean on these younger data led type of signings, which a lot of people in the past said that we needed more of. So he has, in a way, I guess, answered some people's wants for that type of signing. But maybe we feel like he's leaned a little bit too much on the younger potential signings instead of bringing more guys for the here and now. But we'll watch this space and we'll see if this ends up being one of Johan Lang's good signings. Tottenham Hotspur welcoming him to Spurs, saying we are delighted to announce the signing of Antonin Kinsky, subject to international clearance and work permit. Now, what I will say is that I think he looks a lot older than, than 21. I find like his sort of like his face to just be, I don't know if you guys get me, but he seems to be like just a tad bit older looking than like a 21-year-old does. He has sort of a something about it, about his face to me just seems like, slightly older looking. Geronimo Morga with a comment here saying Anthony Kinsky, brilliant cover Ficario. This one, 6'2", young ball playing goalkeeper, comfortable and technically adept in the build up play, excellent, exceptional reflexes and shot stopping, brilliant distributions, smart move for Spurs' future. That's what we've been looking for is right, that ball playing goalkeeper. But we do want to see if his shot stopping skills are good enough for the Premier League. WhoScored.com, by the way, just want to say check out their Twitter profile or just check out anything that they've been putting out in the past few days or so. They had a really good article on this guy. I haven't read the whole thing, but I was reading some of it this morning. I'm recording this on a Sunday. I was kind of planning on taking more of a day off today, but things are happening crazy in the world of Tottenham Hotspur. So we're just deciding to put out this welcome to Tottenham video. Definitely check that out from Dave, and also smash the like button on this one, please. Opta John saying he's in the for the top 10 European competitions this season. He's number one for save percentage. He's number one for goals conceded per 90, and he's number one for clean sheets. So I think that's an indication that he can make a save and that he can prevent goals. But it's also maybe credit to that manager that I was talking about, that guy with the white baseball cap and the big puffy coat. He looks to be very, very good. But then also that defense that's probably in front of that goalkeeper is very good. I think they've only conceded like 7 goals this season. So he's really been the beneficiary of that, you could say, Kinsky, but also probably has contributed to that himself as well. Prem Inside saying I'd pay an extra 10 million pounds for Anthony Kinsky after watching this. No, that's what I was talking about. That sort of long ball drop kick that he has that I know David Rea has in his locker. And I'm not sure if you could say that Vicario does. So it's good to see him have this sort of ability, Antonin Kinsky. And if you want to check it out as well, Spurs put out a little interview video with him. I think it's great. You should definitely watch that. And then Hugo, great Twitter account, has also put out a highlight reel compilation of Kinsky here. Definitely worth checking out too if you want to see a bit more of him. Zeus saying we might be cooking. Let's hope so. Slavia Prague saying take care of him. We definitely will, Slavia Prague. And hopefully Anthony Kinsky finds it very easy at Spurs and can hit the ground running and be that backup goalkeeper that we've been needing for some time now, that we've been needing one of a real level, one of that can really push Vicario. So that's all we can hope for. And thank you everybody for watching this video. Welcome to Tottenham Hotspur, Anthony Kinsky, our first signing of the January window. And we'll see what he's all about, and we'll see if he can be better than Forster and better than Brandon Austin, and what it means for other younger goalkeepers in the squad, like Keeley as well as Luka Gunter. But I'll see you guys next time, everybody. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Consider becoming a member if you want to support the channel a little bit further, and we'll see you next time. Come on, you Spurs. Welcome to Tottenham Hotspur, Anthony Kinsky.